When I first started watching Premier League games on early morning weekends with my dad, I remember being totally captivated by players like Sergio Aguero, Luis Suarez, Frank Lampard, Ozil, and Alexis Sanchez. But once I began playing FIFA religiously and started tactically paying attention to games, I gained a totally different love for the sport. It wasn't always the big name players that caught my attention. It was some of the smaller players that will always be remembered, and some of the players that will always have a place in my heart. The players that the streets will never forget. So to the average fan, Victor Ibarbo is just a footnote. He has a very average career, but this man perfectly embodies what streets will never forget is. To the streets, Ibarbo is a mythical figure with stats that broke OG FIFA. The lore of Ibarbo isn't what he did on the pitch, but the terror he struck into anyone holding a controller. I remember playing FIFA with him on FIFA 14 and 15, but even before that, his glory days, he was always 90 plus pace and 4-star skill moves. And on top of that, he was 6'2". In FIFA back then, you were either pacey and sweating balls down the middle or down the wing, or you had a target man. But Ibarbo was both. He was lengthy and he was strong. He was moving at haram speeds. Once you started holding R2, he was gone. Niggas were rage quitting as soon as they saw Ibarbo loading on the screen. If you remember, his hocus pocus and his elasticals were elite. Ibarbo is the reason thousands of controllers have met their ends. On paper, he was just an average Colombian with a decent career in Italy. But the streets will never forget Victor Ibarbo. If the streets won't forget hierarchy has a throne, Seydou Doumbia is sitting on top of it with a crown made of broken controllers. Ibarbo was a pacey physical freak, but Doumbia was just cold-blooded. He was a pacey finisher. He was the face of the Russian Premier League and was casually cooking in the shadows of the abyss. He would occasionally pop out on European nights, like when he cooked Man City in 2014. It was like he was a glitch because he wasn't techie and he didn't really do any crazy skill moves, and he didn't have any Joga Benito aspect to him. And he always looked like he was going a lot slower than he was, but when he got going, he was going. Doumbia was a speedster, and his R2 plus O, his near post banger, will never be forgotten. Doumbia's career took him from CSK Moscow, and then Roma, and then Newcastle, one of those don't blink if you'll miss it things. And then he ended off at FC Basel. It's like Doumbia wanted to be a streets won't forget demon. He would just join a team, he'd cook for 2 seasons, and then he'd vanish into the abyss. He was a man of efficiency, no tricks, just speed. And if you were on FIFA and you saw 4-3-3 finished off with Gervinho, just quit. You already knew it was a long day. Gervinho was most known for his time at Roma, where he was the king of the unpredictable ball. Gervinho was one of those players that, when he got the ball, ain't nobody have a clue what's happening next, not even Gervinho. Gervinho was always out there for vibes. He was the type of player that would beat 3 guys off pace, get to the 6-yard box, and then hit the corner flag. But that was the charm to him. He even had a good little stint with Arsenal, with the headband and the braids, which was his classic streets will not forget aesthetics. He would have a 10 out of 10 performance against Chelsea, and then 2 days later he would have a 2 out of 10 performance against Bradford. He didn't track back, he didn't manage the game, he just knew, get ball, run past everyone, ball in net, celebration, see. When these 3 played at Roma together, Gervinho, Doumbia, and Ibarbo, they all had strong FIFA links, and they were called the Roma front 3 of death. They all had 90 plus pace, and in their prime, they were all cheap beasts. Streets will never forget his forehead making its way down the wing. In 2012, El Shaarawy was playing for AC Milan, who had a heavy jersey at the time, still being seen as one of the giants of Europe. And to add to his pressure at the time, he was only 19, but he didn't let any of that pressure got to him. He was always just out there playing like vibes. He was moving like the air to Kaká at AC Milan. He didn't just score nice goals, but he was always cutting in from that left wing, scoring banger after banger in Italy, curling the ball top bins like he was spamming finesse shots on FIFA. On FIFA, people even started calling it the El Shaarawy finesse. And to add to the techers, he even had the streets won't forget look. He had that mohawk that was synonymous with the FIFA winger pack causing troubles, or the frosted tips that were all swaying to one side. He was also a mercurial demon, like, the pacey winger that just totally embodies the mercurial energy. Defenders hated to see him come in, and at this point, he was the golden boy of the Serie A. He wasn't a system player that loved winning. He obviously loved to win, but he loved having the ball and see what tricks he could do the next time the defender came at him. And although Sharawi might not have the longest career or the craziest resume, he can say for a cool couple seasons he was definitely the coldest player in Italy. If there was a final boss of being a silk merchant, it is Sofiane Boufal. Boufal is like the spiritual successor to Ben Arfa. He got the Arab-looking roots to him, and he has the glue-like touch and that low center of gravity with hips that do not lie like Shakira. Boufal started off at Lille, and he was one of the most must-watch players in Ligue 1. He didn't guarantee his team 3 points every game, but he guaranteed the most exciting watch every single time you watched him play. Throughout the 2015-16 season, he had more dribbles than almost anyone in Europe. And to add to the look, he had the low socks, fast feet, he was quick, short, and he had nasty footwork. It was like the Somali uncle stereotypes, the Abdis that have the unlimited shuffles in them. If Boufal could meg you, he would. And he never regarded the sensible pass. Later in his career, he played in the Prem for Southampton and won goal of the season in 2017 for a nasty goal where he piles the West Brom defenders on top of each other. They collide into each other and he has them looking like idiots. And it was so nasty. But that was followed by a very forgettable loan spell in Spain, where streets say he even out-dribbled Messi stat-wise. And like every Streets Won't Forget card, FIFA is always what cements him in the book. And Lord knows how nasty prime Sofiane Boufal was in FIFA. He always had 5-star skills and he was a prime cheat beast. In real life, he was an anti-system player who was amazing, but didn't really care about XG. He cared about XA, expected ankles broken. This one is digging a little back to the first World Cup I really remember being locked into footy. I remember watching the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, but I watched that one mostly for vibes. It's like I was with my family and I didn't have too much cognition into what was tactically going on outside of two teams just trying to kick ball into net. But in 2014, that was the first World Cup I was really locked in for. And Hulk will always be a memory for all the right and wrong reasons. But we don't got to talk about that right now. We don't got to bring that up. Hulk wasn't even a silk merchant, unlike other Streets Won't Forget players. He was more of a human cheat code. It's kind of hard to explain what his playstyle was like, but he was like the Super Mario player playing footy with constant power-ups. But at the same time, he was so off the grid. His mystique was totally different than any other player. He didn't play in any of the big leagues. He played for Porto, then Zenit, and then went to China. All of his goals became urban legends, as everyone would see clips on TV or scrolling through online. But that was it, because week in, week out, who's watching full 90s of the Chinese Super League? But then randomly during international tournaments or World Cups, he would pop out and put on super performances. During the 2014 World Cup, he made his name known, being known as the guy with the massive tree trunk thighs and quads running down the wing. The way he looked, you'd think he was super clunky, but nah, he was so quick. He was a mandatory FIFA cheat beast signing, as he always had 90 plus strength, 90 plus pace, and 99 shot power. He's literally like if the Hulk could play footy. Lord knows how much I would abuse that Hulk power shot if he was still OP in FC 26. As an Arsenal fan, I get a very, very, very slight twitch of the eye when I hear the name Demba Ba, but we can move past that. Demba Ba was not much of a flair player, but he was a huge moments player. Whenever the moment was right or wrong, all Demba Ba needed was a sniff of the net and it was wraps for whatever team he was playing against. Spoke about how I'm not the biggest fan of this guy, but Lord knows how Liverpool fans feel. After all, Demba Ba was the guy that...
Oh, given away, here's Demba Ba! It's 1-on-1! Demba Ba for Chelsea, scored!
He's a pure number 9, what can I say? He scored 16 goals in his first 19 games of the 2011-2012 Newcastle season, which was his real Streets Won't Forget time. He had lore, but the streets remember he had a crazy love for strawberry syrup. He would even drink it before games, and the lore got so crazy that fans would come to Newcastle dressed up as strawberry syrup bottles. But real Newcastle fans remember his partnership with the last man on this list, Papiss Cissé. Papiss Cissé and Demba Ba were like yin and yang at Newcastle. They had that Senegalese connection. Cissé had one of the greatest half seasons in Prem history, scoring 13 goals in 14 games. But it's not the goal tally alone that's meant to impress. He was scoring audacious chips, outside the box volleys, and thunderbolt strikes from ridiculous angles. He scored a goal of the season from outside the box against Chelsea. The ball was bouncing and he hit it outside of the foot, facing away from the net, and it curled away from him, top ins. As every Streets Won't Forget player had their looks and their kinks, Cissé was notoriously offside more than any other player in the Prem. But that was Cissé, that's why he was so loved. He treated the Prem like a Sunday league kickabout, and he didn't take any pens. He was a guy who just wanted to play for vibes and didn't stress too much about his goal tally. Looking back at names like Ibarbo, Ben Arfa, and the legendary duo of Demba Ba and Cissé, you start to realize something. Football in 2026 is better than it's ever been, tactically, physically, and technically. We got inverted wingers, we got false nines, and goalkeepers who play like midfielders. It's all very sensible. But in our quest for perfection, have we lost the chaos? The Streets don't care about a player's pass completion percentage or how many pressures they made in the middle third. The Streets care about the moment Hulk almost broke the crossbar from 40 yards out. They care about Papiss Cissé hitting a ball that defied the laws of physics at Stamford Bridge. They care about Sofiane Boufal making professional defenders look like they're wearing roller skates. These players weren't consistent. They weren't always reliable for a 38-game season. But they provided one thing that no dataset can ever capture: pure, unscripted wonder. In the world of robotic systems and disciplined structure, these guys were the glitches. They played with a flair that felt like they were still in the cage, still playing for the love of the nutmeg, still trying to pull off the impossible just because they could. So while the analysts look at the spreadsheets, while we just look at the highlights, because at the end of the day, football is a game of inches. But the streets will always belong to the Mavericks. Which of these legends was your favorites? Did I miss a Streets icon that deserves their own video? Let me know in the comments, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe for more sensible takes on the beautiful game. Thank you for watching this whole video, I really appreciate it. And see you on the other side. Peace.